August 9th, from the CNET studios in New York City with Roger Chang and Ben Fox Rubin. It is the 359 podcast, episode 92. How the hell have we made it this far?
I don't know.
You got me.
Yeah. Mystery.
I'm
All right, well,
super excited about
welcome,
it.
viewers. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Feels like it's much longer than that for some reason. We're going to be talking about all Apple today. Lots of rumors. iPhone 7, Apple Watch 2, MacBook Pro. We've got an event coming up. It's really just a month away, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? And so
we're getting closer to the holiday season, so they're
right.
going to start
The
introducing
rumors-
their new stuff.
The rumors are heating up, so we'll be talking about those three items. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. Our producer Brian will pick out the best, and we will try our best to answer them.
Right, and CNET is not against answering Samsung questions.
Yes, if you have Samsung questions, we're not going to just keep it down.
Yeah, and after this,
Equal opportunity questions.
Tim Cook, you can send me check payable, blah, blah, blah.
You just confirmed the rumor.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well done. All right, let's get the podcast started.
Okay, audio is rolling. Send us your questions. We'll be back in exactly 3 minutes and 59 seconds, starting 3, 2.
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day and all the other crap we want to throw in. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
Well, it's unavoidable. We're about a month away from Apple unveiling a new iPhone, and the rumors are heating up. Bloomberg essentially reconfirmed chatter that the iPhone will have a pressure-sensitive button, dual camera setup, and lose the audio jack. Importantly, there are no significant design changes. Is this a big misstep for Apple, or what do you think?
It's kind of ho-hum. I almost feel like they should just call it the iPhone 6SS or something.
6S
like
Super Plus Ultra?
6SE, whatever. I mean,
there's already an SE. That is not the
No,
one
but
you
the
want.
6SE. Well, needless to say, I don't know how they're actually going to get up on stage and present this as this is different or it's really significant or special
Right.
or whatever. But
Also, more colors. Apparently.
look, Apple
We've got blue and space black, just like the Apple Watch. Ooh,
Apple
colors.
fanboys are going to get really excited about some of these small tweaks, but they
Right.
really are just small tweaks. I don't really see that there's all that much there to jump out and get a new one.
I've been covering the phone business for a while, so I still remember the Motorola Razr, which was a huge hit. The original one, the flip phone.
Yeah.
Mega hit. You could tell when the company started running out of ideas when they started offering the Razr in multiple colors. Like that was their big innovation. Was you can get it in pink and you can get it in blue, and all of a sudden it kind of reminds me of this. I mean, we have rose gold already. We've got, but now we've got rumored to be at least maybe two more colors, blue and black, and just.
Yeah, I mean, look, we may have reached peak iPhone with the iPhone 6, which was like a serious blockbuster phone.
Right.
It sounds like next year's model is going to be really significant,
Yes.
and I hope it is, because
yeah.
like the phone business really could use some shaking up. So we'll
Well,
see.
I mean, just sort of drilling down on some of those features. I mean, do you think the addition of a dual lens camera will actually, get people interested?
No.
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 Gotcha.
All
Just
right.
checking.
Moving on to the Apple Watch. So there are going to be two new Apple Watches, and one of them is going to be called the Apple Watch 2.
Very creatively named.
Yeah, the big difference is going to be that it's going to have better GPS and a better battery. For anybody that's really excited about smartwatches, you might want to wait until next year again
Yep.
because they're expected to add LTE functionality,
Yep.
which means you aren't going to have to pair it directly
Right.
with your iPhone.
The idea is that it can work independently. It has its own dedicated connection. And it makes sense. Like LTE modules right now are probably a little bit on the bulky side. They're probably waiting for it to get a little bit smaller so it could fit into an Apple Watch physically. There are other LTE watches out in the market. Samsung makes a couple. I think LG does as well. Those watches are pretty bulky. And that's I think part of the reason. And also battery life is concerned, right?
Look, but I think it goes back to the same issue with the iPhone is are they going to have enough features to really get you off your butt, off the couch, and buy a new phone or buy a new watch? And I would argue probably not.
Well, it's an interesting question about buying a new watch because folks who spent, $500 plus $10,000 on an Apple Watch the first time around, are they going to pony up for a second one?
No.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't
Or
been
are they
soon
just gonna,
enough.
are they just going to be sitting around feeling bad because they don't have the newest and coolest
It's what
watch?
Apple is good at, making you feel bad. So last we also wanted to touch on the laptop.
Yep.
So there's going to be a major upgrade for the MacBook Pro expected sometime soon, sometime this year actually. And this actually sounds kind of cool. They're planning on adding an OLED touch bar above the keyboard, which I guess would maybe change around a bit depending on what the function is.
Yeah, the idea is, the keys would be context sensitive, right? If you've got like the Spotify app, it'll have like the play, pause, fast forward menu. And so, yeah, that's cool. I mean,
like
it's been a couple of years since they refreshed the MacBook Pro, so I'm glad they're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
All right, want to know more about these stories? Check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
Thanks for listening.
And now we'll take some questions from the audience, and we have some good ones.
All right.
Yeah. It's an Apple day, of course
there are.
there
Are they about Samsung? No.
Yeah.
No Samsung yet, but Dan the Man wants to know
right.
if you think the iPhone 7 5.5 Pro will have a 2K display.
The 5.5 Pro, what?
I don't know.
Oh, the 5.5 inch Pro.
Yes.
The rumored Pro. I highly doubt it.
2K display? I don't think that's in the cards.
No.
Yeah.
I really doubt that.
Yeah. I would say the screen is marginally improved over last year's, but yeah.
Still standard HD, but nothing special.
Yeah, or
When do you think that might be on their wish list? Like that seems like they're kind of behind the curve on that.
There are so many things on the wish list. There are a lot of people that are actually hoping that you could actually open up the back to just add more storage.
That will never happen.
That will never happen, but it would be a great thing for customers, and they wouldn't have to cough up a lot of extra money just for a little bit more storage.
When does Apple do things for its customers?
Oh, I don't know. Probably never.
All right.
The Demon Nat has an interesting proposal. He says make it a bundle. Pay a lump sum and get laptop, watch, and phone all in one batch. That's kind of an interesting thought.
You know what?
That would number one
that
be
would
a
cost,
lot of money.
Well, yeah, an expensive bundle. But I mean, you're probably going to see it with next year's Apple Watch. I'm willing to bet you go to a Verizon or AT&T store, buy an iPhone, get an Apple Watch 2 for whatever $200 off or something. Like you'll definitely get that, because if it's an LTE connected watch, that means there's an account link to it, which means AT&T and Verizon can charge you extra for that watch.
Look at you, Mr. Phone Guy.
Yeah, breaking it down.
I would probably argue, though, that maybe Apple wouldn't want to bundle directly just because...
And let the retailer do it.
Yeah, because they don't want to sully their brand with any sort of, like, reductions in prices or concepts of bundling. They always try to present themselves as a luxury brand. I mean, when was the last time you went into, like, I don't know, what's a luxury store? I never go to them. But, like, if they are going to do a sale, they're going to do... If Prada's going to do a sale, they're going to do it like very, quietly or whatever. So
I just thought that was an interesting concept I've never seen that before.
They have education discounts. They have, I think, back to school discounts.
Yeah.
But they're not bundles. I think they're rare. I mean, it might be a bundle with like accessories, but I haven't seen something like an iPhone plus a MacBook Pro. That's a pretty big commitment.
Not being from experience, being that I've been out of school for far too long, but I bet that if you went back to a high school now, they do get deals on like batches of iMacs and batches of iPads
there is an
for
education
discount.
Yeah, for sure.
Mark wants them to focus more on the lens. They think that they're spending too much time. He thinks that they're spending too much time marketing the colors and the flash, rather than the actual decent new feature of the phone, which is that dual lens.
Yeah. So the whole point of this lens, I mean, if the rumors are to be believed, the two different lenses capture two different sets of colors, and software will be used to sort of blend the photo together. The idea is you'd be able to better shoot photos in low light settings, which is always a problem with phones. Things have gotten a little bit better. I feel like some of the newest Samsung and LG phones actually have some decent low light shots.
It's argued too that you would get slightly improved pictures when you zoom in as well.
Yeah, one can be the zoom lens. The LG G5 has this camera. It's two lenses. One is the zoom lens and one is the regular lens, and when you actually kind of zoom in, it switches from one to the other.
Yeah, I mean, my frustration is that I have the iPhone 6 and I would never buy the Plus. It just doesn't fit in my pocket, so I don't really like
just
that.
Just buy pants with bigger pockets.
Yeah, just buy cargo shorts or something.
There you go.
Yeah,
Wait, we can't do that anymore.
No.
Right, exactly. So, but to me, it's like, okay, they're trying to upsell you on the phone that's $100 more expensive, but what if I just don't want a phone that size? That's just a little annoying because, like, maybe a guy like me would want the dual camera. I take a lot of photos with my phone.
No, they're definitely putting customers in a difficult position. Really, choosing the bigger phone if you want all the bells and whistles. And so, I mean, I have a Plus. I don't find it that, distracting. Although it does kind of jut out of my pocket. I'm a little weary of that when I'm walking around town.
Yeah, you look like an idiot.
It's a good thing you don't have those skinny jeans.
Well, they're kind of skinny. I'm just really fat, so it doesn't really look right. But
expanding on the thought of the different models, George wants to know a little more detail about the models. Will there be 2, a Plus and a 4.7 inch, or 3 Plus Pro and 4.7 inch?
We were
just talking about this morning.
We don't know for sure. Look, Apple hasn't talked to us.
There was that rumor.
They don't ever talk to me, but there was a rumor about 3 different versions. The regular, the Plus, and a Pro. I believe EV Leaks, Evan Blass, actually squashed that rumor, said that there would only be 2 versions. And he's got a pretty good track record. And frankly, I'm personally hoping there aren't 3, because to pay up an additional $200 just for that third tier just seems like they're just soaking people. They're just
right. And how different would the actual screen size be as compared to the smallest iPad?
I don't think that there have been that many rumors about screen size changes, especially with the supply chain. We would have heard more about a bigger display phone earlier on.
I do want to mention this. So the headphone jack rumor is the one that's been the most persistent and the one that we've been hearing about the most often. So apparently it's supposed to help make the phone a little bit thinner, and it's also supposed to give room to create a second set of create a second speaker.
Yeah.
Problem that I have with that is that how often are you actually using the speaker to listen to music? I guess maybe if you're using speakerphone, that would be a use case that a lot of people would have.
The speakers have generally been kind of weak.
They're like kind of tinny, so adding a second set of them.
Talk to all the jerks on the train this morning.
Right.
Without headphones.
Yeah. So we're just going to make them more jerky. That would be fantastic.
The bigger issue I have with that, and Samsung, during its Galaxy Note 7 presentation last week, made sure to note that, nope, we're keeping the headphone jack. It's going to be a big point of contention. A lot of people have sophisticated headphones, and they've invested money in equipment that all of a sudden is incompatible.
How many Beats headphones are out in the market right now with a headphone jack?
Right.
That's a great way to shoot themselves in the foot.
I'm hoping they each iPhone comes with a converter, a lightning to audio jack adapter, in addition to headphones with the lightning attachment. But if not, if they're charging you money for that, that's just the worst.
Sounds pretty Apple to me.
But that sounds like Apple, right? That's pretty much what happened when they went from the 30-pin to lightning, right? They started selling adapters for people, and just sort of
try to keep up with it.
Yeah.
So one interesting point too is that me and Stephen Shanklin wrote a couple months ago about the lightning jack.
Yeah.
Stephen Shanklin and I.
Yeah. Sorry. I always mess that up. So what's interesting is that Apple owns that technology. So any third party that creates something with the lightning jack, Apple ends up getting royalties or some sort of kickback for it. So that would mean that any sort of third party headphones, Apple would then be getting some sort of cash for it because it would have to be connected to the lightning.
Right.
Unless it's Bluetooth connected, of course.
Yeah. So, I think that might be the focus. It's not just lightning, but Bluetooth wireless headphones is sort of the real solution. They've always wanted to go wireless with that, right?
Yeah.
I would wonder if some of the third-party manufacturers, like people who make headphones, would kind of fall in line with this out of obligation to a sense. Because
I'm sure they will.
We saw Apple kind of rewrite the music industry where you had the iTunes model and suddenly singles are the more relevant thing than an album. Will headphones start to manufacture lightning models?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I think so. It's an important market for them.
It's a $1 billion market, all those accessories. And there's no other single product that sells these accessories like the iPhone, right? Like there's Samsung, there's LG, there's just a myriad of other Android phones out there, but there's one consistent.
Right, but here's
device.
The problem is that what if you want to use the same headphones on your laptop, which I do plenty. Then, you don't have a lightning jack on your laptop. Yeah, exactly. Thank you again, Apple. God, I should just abandon the Apple ecosystem.
I'd be interested.
Getting more and more frustrated as we're talking.
You're just getting angrier and angrier. I love it.
I'd be interested for us to get our audio guys like Carnoy or Steve Guttenberg in here to talk about if there's any actual merit to the lightning port as far as audio fidelity goes with headphones.
That would be very interesting. I don't know off the top of my head at all.
I can't imagine there'd be that much of a leap forward, but it's an interesting thought to consider.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that'll come up during the presentation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about design. George speculates he thinks there's a conspiracy that there's going to be a fresh, brand new design of the 7 after all. And I'm digging. I lost track of it. Ibrahim said, I heard the iPhone 7 will have the same glass and metal design like the iPhone 4, but thinner and taller. What are the rumors? What do you think about the actual aesthetics?
I mean, aesthetics, I think it's essentially going to be the same thing.
It's going to look the same.
I'm sorry for all you conspiracy theorists out there who believe that there's going to be a new design, and there won't be for this phone. Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty much telegraphed through most of the mainstream press now that the iPhone 7 isn't going to change significantly. It will be a little bit thinner. I think, like you made the point, the move from audio jack to Lightning does allow it to be a little bit thinner. It'll probably be a hair thinner, and they'll probably talk about how great that 0.001 millimeter.
No, it's the smallest
shaving.
iPhone ever.
Yeah,
we've seen there have been pictures that have been circulating for months now.
The antenna lines, right? Instead of going through the phone, it'll go around the phone, so it'll be a cleaner look. That's it, though. I don't think you should prepare for an iPhone 7 that looks a lot like the 6S and the 6.
Yeah, there will probably still be giant lines outside the Fifth Avenue store in New York.
For sure.
But is it going to be the same as the iPhone 6? I really doubt it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. iPhone 6 was 2 years ago. People's contracts and people sort of are trained to upgrade after 2 years. So we're at that 2-year refresh cycle. So even if there isn't a huge amount of excitement for this new phone, I think there are going to be enough people who are upgrade eligible that are going to make the jump.
Yeah. That makes sense.
We have a few people on the stream who want you to get personal. Give us your top 1 to 3 things, wish list things. It's like, what the hell, Apple? Where's this feature? Each of you go.
Oh, yeah. Well, big ones.
A stylus.
No. Yeah. God, no.
What about the pencil?
Yeah.
Definitely with the pencil. I think I have 2 big ones. It's wireless charging. I've wanted wireless charging for a long, long time. And they have it. Apple Watch is a wireless charging device. So they've used the technology. They could throw it into an iPhone very easily. Everyone else does it at this point. And waterproof. I'd love it to be waterproof.
You just stole mine.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'd like to be able to just drop my phone in my toilet.
Yeah.
Not actually purposefully, but accidentally dropped, but still have a phone that I can use.
So I would probably say 2 things would be removable storage so that I could upgrade it independently. That would just be nice as like a money saver.
Never happening.
I know, but like I wouldn't notice the difference because my iPhone is in a case.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really make a difference to me from a design perspective if I could remove the back of it.
Right.
The other one, now I forgot. Oh well, I give up.
Okay.
Breaking the stream of thought here for just a hot second. Peter wants to know if the Batman phone has sold out.
The Samsung one?
Yes.
I think it was a limited edition. I don't. If you can't get it, I imagine it is sold out.
By now.
I believe CNET's got one. Maybe if you ask Jessica real nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jessica Dolker got one?
I think Jessica has. Well, we have a review unit.
Why did she not share? I just like Batman. I could care less about the phone.
That's true. Although,
wait a minute. I just remember that the home button thing. If they could actually integrate the home button into the screen.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Removing the home button. Scott Stein and I wrote about that last year.
I think that's in the pipeline, but it's not going to be coming in this one. I'm
willing to bet 2017 that might be a thing.
That would be really significant.
They've been trying to. So part of the problem with that, by the way, is that the fingerprint sensor, we haven't gone to the technology, hasn't advanced to the point where it's accurate enough to get a fingerprint sensor embedded in the screen itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've talked to the guys at like Synaptics. They've been working on this for years. That's sort of like the holy grail. And it's still like a year or 2 out. Even they say that. So I imagine like that could happen in 2017, maybe 2018, getting rid of that home button. But that's the fingerprint, I think, is one of the biggest stumbling blocks for that.
But with the same size phone, you would get a much bigger screen doing that. So
you get an even smaller phone.
And you would get an even smaller phone.
This is the issue that I have with the Plus that I'm seeing now with the Note 7. Because the Note 7 is so much smaller, significantly smaller, but it has a bigger display. So it just, like I stacked the 2 up next to each other. I'm like, the Plus is like really It's really a little too bulky.
Yeah, so ultimately it does sound like there are a number of things that they can improve with the iPhone, but we're probably not going to see a lot of them until 2017.
Yeah,
if we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here, they're trying to stagger these things out so they can keep saying like this because they're running out of new.
Yeah,
well,
that's what's been frustrating.
They had been staggering since the beginning.
Yeah,
this is the first time that they're actually breaking away from that, one every other year upgrade, and they're actually extending it. They're not doing a significant upgrade after now 3 years.
That is where
crazy.
the upgrade cycle is headed. So
Yeah.
I think that they're realizing that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll squeeze a couple more in here before we got to call it quits because we are running out of time.
Yeah.
A number of people are saying like, yeah, we've already gone Bluetooth. This is old news. Who cares? But Dan brought up an interesting question. Do you think the new Lightning headphone adapter will be more susceptible to breaking, just seeing it breaking due to the port in your pocket under tension, which on his side, I've broken so many headphones in my pocket on the regular 1/4 inch jack or
Really?
1/8
That's
inch
a
jack.
good question.
I haven't broken any headphones. I mean, my Lightning power cables do end up fraying and breaking, so I don't know. That's a legitimate concern. I don't know. That's
I'm
probably something
sure
I'll be
we
worried
will
about.
get people complaining about it on Twitter.
Lightning Gate or
Yes.
something. There'll be some sort of controversy, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, though. I hadn't considered
Good
that.
point, Dan.
Very good point. We're going back and forth between the Note 7 and the iPhone 7. Go figure.
Yes.
What's our idea about price point coming out on these? Any word on that yet?
I can't imagine they're any
Too
different.
early, yeah.
Well, no, it's also
They hover around the same.
they're predictable. It's going to be
$650 for the baseline.
$650 for the base model and $100 for every step up, and then the Plus will be $100 more.
Right. The question is the baseline still going to be 16 gigs, or are they going to upgrade that to
Yes.
32 gigs?
It's what you're
So
getting
we'll
for
see
your
that.
money. The price chart doesn't change though. They haven't changed that thing in
A very long time, and
Ever,
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if there's no way that they change it during
Right.
this off year.
Although
they want people to buy it.
They do kind of have an opening because the Galaxy Note 7 came out and it's like $850, $880, like crazy expensive. The Note or the 6S Plus starts at $750, $100 less. So there's a chance that maybe Apple can jack their prices up. We'll
What's
see.
the gigs on that though?
That's the thing. It comes with 64 gigs.
It starts at 64
There's
gigs.
only one model. And it's a
Oh.
64 gig model.
All right, that's
Yeah.
not bad.
That's actually a pretty good deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
With any luck, the only thing I can see coming out of the Lightning port conversion, the best part is the reduction of perhaps heat because B-Flan is asking why the iPhone gets really hot, and a lot of that is because of the way that the internals are structured, and being that there is essentially an exhaust port in that 1/4 inch, it can collect dust.
Right.
And that causes other complications, and that's why your iPhone gets warm in your pocket.
Plus the metal
right?
body doesn't help either.
Truth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Um,
It's not just Apple. Like I have a Galaxy S6 Edge, and that thing heats up like crazy, like much hotter than anything the iPhone can accomplish. So.
But that's a large part of the reasoning that they're trying to present of why we're getting rid of the headphone port. It's not just them being like, oh, we're going to do it better. There is kind of like an actual scientific reason behind it.
Well,
which is,
it still will probably overheat though.
It'll get
certainly
hot.
will
Yeah,
because we use these things entirely too much. I know mine starts to melt when I poke them on for more than an hour.
Right.
But with any luck, we can actually see a positive outcome from this one thing, even though there's a lot of negative to it as well.
Sure.
Just trying to be unbiased.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Trying to be
Appreciate
fair
it.
and balanced.
Sure, that exists.
We had some really fantastic interactions today, but we are
Absolutely.
running out of time.
Oh yeah,
Let's
we're
do this
way
again.
way late. Okay.
Let's do this again as we get closer to Apple Day. Thanks so much for all the questions, guys.
We'll do this every day.
Absolutely.
No, but thank you for your questions and comments. That's awesome.
We'll see you guys over on the Apple Bite with Brian Tong, I'm sure.
We'll see you all tomorrow. If you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET.com. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, TuneIn.
Yeah,
That's
do.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. See you all tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, guys.